working on it. That'd be great. I'll take money from anybody right now.
What would my investment percentage be if I kicked you like $1,000? What's my return capabilities?
It would be a fraction of a percent. You'd have something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give you $1,000.
Yeah, we could probably turn that into 1,020.
Can I give you $1,000 and then go buy something that I want?
Yeah, that's definitely how it works.
Can I go like buy new wheels for the truck?
The wheels are fine. We need new tires.
Yeah, we need some General Grabber ATs.
Yeah.
Altering.
That's what I need. I need some on the big truck. The big truck is way worse than the 150.
Yeah, the 150. It sucks because like I wanted to put nicer tires on the 150, but like it was happening. Like Jessica was like, "Tell me now." I was like in the middle of something. I was like, "I just buy these."
Yeah.
So we have like basic duty tires, but like
they're decent.
The 250 should probably get like some, not mud tires, but like.
No. I'm never gonna drive a vehicle with mud tires.
Not like General Grappers or anything. Like you need like.
I forget. I was in somebody's car or truck the other day, and they had mud tires on it. And I was just the whole time sitting there like, "How do you do this? How do you do this all the time?" Especially people that spend a lot of time driving. I'm like, really? Yeah. This is not how. A car should not sound like this. So you shouldn't have to yell to the other person next to you.
Yeah. Well, I've got some pretty heavy duty tires on my truck, but the sound of the tires is the least of my worries.
Yeah, there's a little bit more.
It's the fact that I have to like put the windows down to get a little extra air going, and then like the sound of the engine. Yeah, it's just the whole thing.
I feel like the 250 gets stuck a lot faster than the 150 because there's so much weight in the front.
Operator error.
Well, no. Yes. But there's so much more weight in the front. And the back is so light. And it might be down to the tires too, because the tires are different. But the tires, like, if I drive onto anything even slightly slick, that truck is stuck. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah. I've gotten that truck stuck a couple times. It's not a very fun truck to drive off road.
No. The 250, the suspension, it's because it's a straight suspension. Mm. It's rough.
I mean, my truck's rough, but that truck's rough.
I would like to see how the Tremor compares to the standard 250 suspension.
Are you still going to buy a new car?
I don't know. At this point, probably not.
No.
I mean, let the market loosen up a little bit more.
I don't know if it's going to.
I don't know either. But it's not like the value of my truck is going anywhere anytime soon.
It's only going up.
Yeah, I only have 24,000 miles on it.
No, there's 75,000 miles on the 150 now.
How many?
75,000 miles.
Wow, that thing.
We had 50,000 on it a year ago. That truck sits so much, but when we drive it, we just go.
That's what it's for. Like, it's paid off. It's our truck. It's just because I thought about, should I get rid of it or should we just beat the hell out of it for a few years? And it became let's just beat the hell out of it truck.
I got in a Tesla for the first time yesterday. Uber from the airport.
It was a Tesla?
It was a Tesla. So, a couple of things on the Tesla here. First of all, really weird car to get into. They got a button to open the door.
Yeah, you have to push the little thing to grab the latch.
So this guy is a 5-star platinum super duper executive president of Uber kind of deal. So he's been driving for them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They offer a program now where you can lease a car through Uber.
I have seen that.
And that's what that car was. So the first question I asked the guy is, man, this is probably a huge improvement over a gas car right now for you. Probably saving a lot of money. He's like, yeah, it's like $20 if I fill up at the superchargers. Okay. He gets billed at the end of the month through his account every time he charges up at the supercharger. And I was like, nice. So, like, have you figured out what it costs you to charge it at home? And he's like, oh, no, they don't charge you for that. It's free. I was like, well, like, yeah, they don't charge you, but like, what is he's like, that's like your power. You don't pay for that.
That is
like,
that's not how power works.
I'm like, whoa, that's like what people think about these cars.
Yeah. They think it's free.
Yeah.
They think there's a little fairy under where the engine should be, making everything that car needs to go. Yeah. I feel like that's how it is perceived.
Yeah. Yeah. That was kind of eye-opening to me. I was like, oh, this guy actually thinks like it's not going to cost him any extra in his power bill. It was kind of scary.
Well, I almost went on a power rant the other day because of the whole Supreme Court ruling about the EPA.
I was going to bring that up, yeah.
And how they just can't, do whatever they want with power plants, which I think is more than reasonable. But everybody is now a U.S. power production expert. And despite that we have been on a significant decline in emissions since 2008, significant. No. We're not going to talk about that. We're headed towards Armageddon, and the Supreme Court they hate rabbits, the environment, flowers, everything about it. They're trying to kill planet Earth.
Yeah. It's convenient. It's very convenient.
It's a very convenient narrative.
Convenient timing.
Yeah.
Just so happens that we don't have a whole lot of imported coal coming in right now all of a sudden, so we need to go
not much coal,
start up a bunch of coal plants, and
even though we're sitting on some of the biggest petroleum reserves in the world, we can't touch a lot of them.
Yeah.
Go figure. Oh, why have emissions decreased? Oh, it's because of this new technology. What's that new technology invented in 2008? Is it solar? No. Is it wind? No. It's called fracking.
Yeah.
Natural gas. That's why
Texas is kind of going back off now, right? They've picked up since this whole thing started.
What?
Isn't the Texas drilling market back up and running?
Yeah, well, of course.
But
they're not going super aggressive.
Oh.
Oil companies right now, they don't mind the prices.
Right.
They're not super urgent
Yeah.
to get things back down.
Well, because people are paying for it.
Well, exactly.
Like, I haven't diminished my travel or plans.
It's inelastic.
I'm still paying for it. It sucks.
Yeah, it's inelastic. It's not like I can just go trade my truck in for a bicycle and bicycle everywhere.
And I feel like 2008 or like 9 or 10, like when gas prices were high, like we didn't travel. Like when I was a kid, we didn't travel. Like we stopped going to vacation because it was like a different scenario, I guess.
Well, everybody's been stuck inside for 2 years. So
I think that has a lot to do with it.
It has a lot to do with the travel this summer.
Yeah.
Like we're setting record. All the travel records are being broken this summer.
I'm seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, you go to the airport.
Did I tell you?
Bro.
Did I tell you I went to Bucky's?
I saw that.
It was the worst experience of my life.
Which one did you go to?
The one outside of Mobile, Alabama.
Yikes. So really, probably the only one in Alabama.
There's two.
I
think there's one in Huntsville.
I don't know if that's opened yet. It might be.
So it was the worst experience I've ever had inside of a building.
Was it just absolutely slammed?
They were far beyond their capacity limit. It took us an hour to get out of the parking lot.
Oh, is it new?
It's new-ish. The problem is it was like July 4th weekend on a Saturday at noon on the way to Destin Beach.
Dude, that was
so
prime Bucky's time.
I could not have picked a worse time to do it, but we were already committed. It was an hour out of the way.
Did you even get anything?
So I got a sandwich off the warmer.
Uh-huh.
So I got the they call it I think it's a club. So it's just like a package of 3 meats in a sandwich.
Huh.
And that was it. That was all I really could get to. And then I stood in line for a half hour to pay for it.
Yeah.
But I, honest to God, I was thinking it was going to be one of the worst gas station sandwiches I ever had because I stood in line with it and it was cold. Man, I sat in the car. It was like a really delicious sandwich. So
it's good food.
Yeah, for the situation, it was a good meal.
The last time I went to Bucky's, it was like that, where it was just fucking crazy. I go in, I'm like, nope, not doing this.
Yeah.
Walk right back out. Didn't buy anything.
I really wanted to document the experience more, and people were asking like, well, you led us on this adventure. Why don't you tell us more about it? I'm like, I was afraid to take my phone out because I was afraid if I dropped it, I was going to get stampeded. That's how bad it was. I kid you not. Like if I was genuinely worried if I pulled my phone out and I dropped it, I wasn't going to get it back because I couldn't see the floor. It was just feet. It was insane.
Oh, man.
I've never experienced anything like that.
Wow.
And people like they were just loving it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Go get your smoker and your beef jerky.
So I'm going to write that off as that's not my first Bucky's experience. I need to go somewhere else and try it.
Did you go to the bathroom at Bucky's?
My brother did.
Too many urinals? Oh,
that was another half-hour line though. The whole time that I was standing in line paying, he was going to the bathroom.
That is not worth it. Yikes.
It was bad.
Holy shit.
And then we went to the fireworks store down the road and spent another hour standing in line.
What is with you guys? Why not just call it a day
Didn't really have anything else to do.
while you were driving?
No, we actually like left the house to go do this because it
Oh,
was like
wow.
an hour from my brother's house.
So you drove an hour
Yeah,
to go to Buckys.
me and Brian, we like made a trip out of this. We made a day trip out of it was supposed to be like a 45-minute deal.
Oh, shit.
And we spent 6 hours doing this. Anyway.
Okay, so that is this week's gas station review segment.
Should be a little jingle to insert there.
We've been tasking Harrison with a lot of different jingles lately. He's probably so glad he did all this studying about audio engineering and got this great audio job, and
so he can make jingles for gas stations.
Is now stuck every time an idiot says, "Hey, can you make another jingle?" Because it's something that's probably so stupid, but it cracks me up every time.
I feel so bad because we've been coming up with so many of these stupid ideas lately for like dumb stuff. And everybody's just like, all right.
The fans love it.
You sign my paychecks. I'll do this dumb thing for you.
Not as dumb as Crab Smash.
Oh my God. I forget who called me, but somebody called me and they're like, hey, have you seen this? I'm like, yeah, I have. It was kind of fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I don't know. You should ask Aaron about it. And I was
It might have been Jason, or he brought it up to me.
It was just Jason.
Yeah,
and
he's like, I don't know if
I was like, yeah, I
some
see where
people
you're
are
coming
gonna like this. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But that's also the kind of the point of what we're trying to do.
Yeah. It was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know, we one of our field teams went to Hawaii to visit a company, and after hours, they had all their PPE on the beach.
Yeah.
Hard hat, vest, and beach shorts.
Yes. Yeah.
And they were drinking beers on the beach with their construction PPE on, and they found a dead crab, so they were like throwing rocks at it. It was just a funny video they put together.
Yeah. They put it on a rock and were throwing rocks at it until you smashed the crab.
Yeah.
Crab smash.
Yeah, crab smash.
And then they were. It's just the weirdest video. They were drinking. They were smoking cigars. They had cigars too.
Yeah. That's
Which. So, and I'm not going to get bent out of. I can see where someone from a corporate standpoint would not like that, but that would resonate very well with the construction industry as a whole.
Dude, I woke up.
There's a disconnect there.
I woke up to that video. It was the first thing that came up on my phone, and I watched it, and I went about my day for a little bit, and I was like, wait, did I actually what did I watch when I woke up this morning?
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back to. I was like, that is hilarious.
Yeah. Only the best. Build Witt. The number one content producer in the dirt world, self-proclaimed.
The leader
in dirt world content.
The leader in dirt world.
What'd you think about the New York trip?
Logistically challenging.
That was
a
little bit of a chore.
So we recently went on a pretty expansive trip across. What were the stats? So we started in Boston and made our way to Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And we covered 5 states.
Technically started in Boston, ended in Manhattan.
Manhattan, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. 5 states, 4 companies.
Mm-hmm.
4 companies.
Yeah.
3 days.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time that the OG field team has been together since February or March of 21.
Yeah.
So it was like a year and a half.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I had a great time. As challenging as it was, because there was like night shift stuff that was thrown at us, and we were staying in probably the worst Airbnb I've ever been at in my life.
The Airbnb itself wasn't that bad.
It was the conditions. It was the environment.
Getting there.
It was the KFC
leaving.
nightlight that did it for me. Once I turned my bedroom light off and realized that the KFC, which I couldn't see all of it until I got all the way to the window because it was right next door. Once I realized that after I shut the lights off, that KFC was my nightlight, I was like, yep, 1 star on this one.
It was this skinny 2-story house on a busy street in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
In not the most luxurious part of Brooklyn.
No.
If there's a luxurious part of Brooklyn. I mean, I haven't seen enough of Brooklyn to know but based on what I've seen, there. Yeah. And on one side was an auto shop. that
Oh yeah, I
for
forgot about that.
sure is not within any kind of environmental standard whatsoever.
No, they dump their oil down the drain.
Yeah. So auto
So
shop
is KFC.
sharing a wall. So one side of the house sharing a wall with the auto shop.
Mhm.
The other side of the wall was the drive-through
Mhm.
of Kentucky Fried Chicken. We could almost reach out our window and they could hand us our bucket of chicken.
Here's how close we were. I was laying in bed and I heard
Bucket of KFC.
No, I heard a phone ringing. I heard like somebody dialing a phone. And I was like, oh man, did I actually like dial somebody at midnight when my phone has been not touched for a half hour? And I realized it was somebody in their car making a phone call
Wow.
from the drive-thru. I was like, that's how close we are. Like, this is stupid.
It was right there.
I forgot to go to the listing for that Airbnb and look up the reviews because I'm sure they're flattering.
I'm going to give them a hell of a review. 10 out of 10. If I remember correctly too, the window at the drive-thru was like, it
was bulletproof.
it was like a bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't just a sliding window.
Yeah.
Typically it was like you had to slide the food underneath
Yeah.
the plexiglass.
Yeah, like a gas station.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the kind of neighborhood we were in.
Yeah. And then we got home at like 1:30 in the morning.
Mhm. Yeah, so we're walking down the street. We're walking down the street in Brooklyn in this neighborhood.
Mhm.
And we all have a lot of
There's
a
probably
lot of
$50,000 of camera gear combined between the four of us.
we all have our stuff and do not look like we blend in whatsoever. And the entire time, dude, yeah, we're walking down the street. Some
car
guys so there was a fire hydrant that someone had unscrewed
Mhm.
and it was pouring water out of it. These guys had parked cars on both sides on the sidewalk, both sides of the fire hydrant, and were washing their cars using the water coming out of the fire hydrant
Mhm.
by hand.
Yep.
And that's what we were walking past.
Brooklyn detail.
And the whole time we kept our PPE on because if you look like a construction worker,
Nobody bothers you.
no one bothers you.
You don't get stabbed when you're
It's-
construction.
It's fantastic. And the whole time we were like, yeah, man, that construction site today was really good.
Oh, I sure do love shoveling dirt and getting paid not a lot of money to do it. Oh man, I've got all these bags full of, what did I say, rocks and crowbars or something?
Something stupid like that.
I've got my backpack full of rocks from my day of being a construction worker.
Yeah, it was an experience to say the least.
Yeah.
But the overall trip, fantastic. Saw Deere Vinagro, which was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
All of the stuff we saw was like the cool factor on everything we saw was pretty significant.
Yeah, we saw quite a bit of stuff in a very short period of time. And I didn't realize that until like after we were done.
I didn't either.
I also didn't realize, so collectively between that trip and the week before in Pennsylvania, we saw 160/20B.
Yeah.
A 60/15.
Uh-huh.
Like 4 390s.
Yeah.
Two 395s and 2 390s.
Quite a few D10s.
God, it's like 20 D10s probably.
Yeah.
Like the amount of iron that we processed in a week was
And
kind of
just-
wild.
And just the variety. Like on
Yeah.
this trip, so we see Deere Vinagro doing a site development project.
Mhm.
And then we go to their yard, which was wild.
Yeah, that wasn't a yard.
Providence.
That was a facility.
Yeah, this whole recycling operation
Yeah.
over like 200 acres or
Mhm.
whatever it is. And then we go to Patillo for another site development project.
Mhm.
Just kind of a smaller job for them.
Another Airbnb in the ghetto.
That just wasn't that bad.
That was a little bad. You told me you ran in circles on the block because you were too afraid to go downtown.
Yeah, I did post where we were. And
Yeah.
a lot of people on social media were like, "Yikes,
Yeah.
that's not the part of Newburgh you want to be in."
The Mexican place we went to was
Yeah, that was a great
was
place.
primo.
Yeah, and then so we see Patillo, and then we get done a little early. So we're like, well, why don't we go to Atlantic Coast Dismantling because
Mhm.
they're dismantling the Witt Penn Bridge, the
Mhm.
old one,
Yep.
in Newark area or
Mhm.
Jersey City or
that was Jersey City.
Jersey City.
Yeah.
So we go see that, which was super unique,
Mhm.
and then we go into Manhattan, over into Brooklyn to go shoot Night Paving with Basilico. And then the next day we go into Manhattan again to shoot the East Coastal Resiliency Project.
Which was awesome.
Just very unique.
It was the tour was a little excessive, but it was a very. It was fascinating to see how they were doing that project for sure,
and they're only starting it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long one. I mean, it's $1.4 billion worth of work.
Yeah, that was wild.
They're basically on the east side of Manhattan when something like Hurricane Sandy comes through, the eastern side of the city floods, which is not ideal.
Yep.
Not ideal. For obvious reasons, and it's hundreds of thousands of people that live in this flood area. That's not very big. So to prevent it from flooding, they're basically building this park along the east side of, well, some of it is a flood wall, some of it is a park.
Yeah,
and we were at the park.
Can't build a park on a slope.
So they're building this big park on the outside of Manhattan to basically serve as a barrier to prevent the eastern side of Manhattan from flooding. They're importing over 1 million yards of material.
It's all being brought in by barge.
All by barge.
It's all by barge.
Yeah.
And I realized why it was being brought in by barge when I sat in traffic for 4 hours on my way home, which was supposed to be an hour and a half trip.
That was
really aggravating.
I was talking to someone yesterday, and they were talking about how driving in Tennessee sucks. I'm like, yeah, I agree. And I told them we just drove through Manhattan twice over.
Yeah,
we went through Manhattan
and
I
went
through.
I went in a third time to go to Boston.
Woof.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
I drove from Philly to Boston to get the car.
Oh yeah, you had to go across.
Yeah, I got fucked. Yeah, but that was not a good time.
I told him it was probably the most stressful driving experience of my life, but also one of the most fun because everybody's on the same page.
I did not have any fun while you were driving. I was terrified.
Everybody hates each other.
Yeah.
So as long as you just hate everybody around you and get really angry, you're on the same level as everybody else.
Yeah.
And then it's just, it is a great time.
You got into it and I thought you were just joking. And then I realized, no, he's actually in New York mode.
Yeah. You got to get into New York or else you're just going to get pushed around. You're not going to get anywhere. I feel like you need to be a total douchebag or else you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a wild experience. Just
you have to nearly hit women and children with your car at every single intersection. Or else, good luck.
See, like California's the same way, but they're all just really bad at driving. Like New York, they're really angry and they're terrifying to be around. But they're like actually good drivers.
I didn't see one accident when I was in Manhattan.
No,
not one.
Which leads me to believe that the traffic is a lie. It's all made up. Because like, why is there? If you're all really good at driving, then what's going on?
Well, that's how when I travel internationally, driving is like that a lot. Like you go to South America. Some places I've been, it is wild. It is really,
There's no laws. They just get in a car. They don't have a license. They don't have training. They just go.
I've been to places where they have, and I know Asia, I've heard, is even crazier.
Oh, yeah.
I was in China. China was pretty buttoned up. But they have stoplights, but no one really listens. They're kind of a suggestion. So they have traffic cops at every single intersection.
Whoa.
Because people just ignore the stoplight.
Wow.
So they have to have traffic police at all the intersections to actually make people listen. It's that kind of, but there's no accidents.
That wouldn't work here.
I think it's partially because they use their horn as communication. So it's like if they're coming through, they're beeping as they're coming through. So, okay, I know there are cars right there.
Did you see the sign, the billboard outside of Nashville? There's like a new campaign. It's called Nashville House Rules.
No.
And the house rule number 2 is like no honking. They want people to stop. Ooh. They want people to stop honking in Nashville.
Is it like a billboard bought by the government?
Yeah, it's a government billboard.
Really?
And it's like a fun campaign. Like, here's your house rules for staying in Nashville. Like, no honking. I'm like, no. I'm gonna install a train horn on my truck now. How about
it is the South? There's a lot of those.
Like, I won't honk, but I'll choo choo. Can't stop me now.
What if you reverse train horn? So every time you get to a railroad crossing, you're sitting there on your horn, and you stop and lay on the horn. Have you ever
seen the guys that they actually like they'll honk back at the trains and then they'll get into a honking war? Those are my favorite videos. I've always wanted to do not a train horn, but like a steam whistle. Just to like really fuck with people, like wee wee, like that would be good. Blowing through town.
Speaking of the worst Airbnbs ever and trains, the worst experience I had was when Airbnb, and it was super nice. Everything was too perfect. Mm-hmm. I was like, something is up. And I am sitting at the kitchen table, And the whole house just starts to shake. the whole thing, like violently shake. And I am like, what the hell is happening? And a train goes by and you can nearly touch the damn train. It is right there.
Where was that?
And
at?
it is full send through Atlanta.
Oh.
So loaded freight train through Atlanta. You could nearly touch the damn thing. Double stack container, grain cars, whatever it was. And shook the whole house at least once or twice an hour. So all night. And then the train horn, they didn't give a fuck. Like, oh yeah, neighborhood, we don't care. We're still just laying on it, man. Which I don't even know how they can do that in that. And it was a nice area. It was a nice neighborhood.
I wish I could get the same treatment that railroads get from the U.S. government. It is mind-blowing.
Yeah. And they make a ton of money.
There are very few places where they don't have to, but they're not allowed to blow their train horn. There's very few quiet zones.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But you'd think
It's
there'd
crazy.
be more people complaining about that now.
Yeah. Even like the low tone horns that they use kind of suck.
Dude, or like, God forbid you go and buy a house like that. You're like, this is beautiful. This is so quiet.
Oh, you're stuck with it.
Love this street.
Yeah.
And they give you the keys. The realtor walks out, and then just right behind you, just rips right by. I would put the for sale sign back out in front of the house.
See, I would actually enjoy being next to a railroad.
No, I know you would probably.
There are people that actually seek out houses in certain spots of the railroad because they like watching the trains go by.
Yeah, those people are insane.
Yeah,
I like trains. I love trains.
Not every 2 hours.
No, I don't need to watch them from my kitchen window. No. No, I'm good. If I want to go see trains, I'll go see trains.
In the listing, if that ever happens, you can just put natural ASMR.
It depends.
Natural sleeping sounds.
Depends.
Natural white noise. There you go. House comes with white noise.
Sure. But it's so insane because a train can just blow a train horn through town, but then in construction, God forbid there's a backup alarm.
Or a jake brake. Did you see that project that they're
doing?
Or a
jake brake. Yeah. God forbid that's happening.
Switzerland or somewhere. They've got a bunch of like retrofitted equipment that's electric. Like they've got like a 310 cat excavator that's plug-in.
Is it tunneling?
No, it's a street project, but they have to. It's such a strict decibel level that they have to meet.
Oh, that's
I forgot who's posting about it. There's a bunch of equipment, and it's all, some of it's battery, some of it's plug-in, and the stuff only runs for like 4 hours or something.
Wow!
But they absolutely cannot have anything that makes us. It's like, I think it's like 50 or 60. It's some ridiculous number that they have to achieve.
So the when we were driving into Zurich, the very first thing was, oh yeah, we're about to go through this tunnel right now. And I was like, well, what? Why are they building this tunnel? They're building this tunnel over the highway for noise. Because they built up on both sides of the highway, and now the people are, no, this is too loud. We can't have this. So they're building a whole tunnel over the existing highway.
Oh, they're building like a shell.
Yes.
Oh.
Over the existing highway to contain the noise within the tunnel. So the people around are not bothered. That's how particular Switzerland is.
Interesting.
Yeah. Are they on big earth moving jobs? If there's any over the road component, they mandate a majority of it go by rail.
Really?
To eliminate truck traffic.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Which I think they should do more of that in the United States because the truck traffic is getting out of control in some areas.
Well, like, yeah, I just watched a video the other day. It's like, I think it's Germany that does like Amazon. Is it Germany? It might be Switzerland again.
It's probably Switzerland.
So like all these, so the big thing here now is Amazon warehouses or distribution centers.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all we build now, which is absolutely terrifying.
Every major earth moving project in the United States right now is probably an Amazon.
It's absolutely terrifying.
Distribution center.
But the problem is none of those, or very few of them, have rail service.
I've never seen one.
I've not seen one yet. I'm pretty sure Switzerland requires all buildings to have some level of rail service.
That makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
I never realized it until I watched a video and I was like, oh, whoa, this is way better than trucks. I don't know why we're doing this, but.
There was speaking of low noise equipment, there was a 374 that Quinn retrofitted for, it might have been even a 390. It was a big machine, downtown LA. They were doing the metro work.
Mhm.
It's probably still down there. But they basically had to build this gigantic, I can probably find it. I'll probably have to dig it up to show it to you. It's this funny looking, enormous muffler
It's got like the
enclosure
side
deal.
panels?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like this. It's just like a 374 ate at a Las Vegas buffet for 3 months straight.
Wow.
So just got a little too chunky.
And it probably only took it down like 3 decibels or something.
I don't know how successful. I mean, I could probably ask someone at Quinn.
Yeah.
But yeah, they built this custom machine to run a lot quieter.
Interesting.
60 decibels.
So 60 decibels is speaking volume.
is speaking volume.
So it's probably like 75, 90 was their threshold.
You go probably no.
Because
Our car the other day was 100 decibels from inside the car.
Yeah, because
thanks to having no catalytic converter.
that one. I think the cat wheel loaders are like 87 decibel. There's some ridiculous number.
It depends
'Cause
though.
they're so quiet.
On a loader, it depends where you're at. So if a loader is coming up on you, they are dead quiet.
Very quiet.
Especially if there's traffic next to you, you do not hear a loader sneak up on you. But if you're behind the loader,
I can fact check this.
then you're really close to the engine and you can hear it a lot better.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's the backup one.
Yeah.
But I would get snuck up on by the loaders all the time when I was on the pipe crew.
Especially the new ones, because they're very, they don't.
Yeah, they're super
Yeah.
they're super slick. And then and on a pipe crew, you're typically running a smaller loader. It's moving around all day long, so it's hard to keep track of it.
120 decibels
For what?
for a loader.
Bullshit.
That's crazy.
There's no way.
There's
Probably up to
Probably
120.
at the maximum level.
Yeah, if you have your
full
foot
speed down the road,
yeah,
dribbling aggregate everywhere, and honking the
like
horn.
a bucket full
Yeah.
of concrete or something.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no way.
That is loud though.
I
That's really
sometimes
loud.
felt like the radio that I was listening to was louder than the machine itself.
You know what's loud is the skid steer.
Something's wrong with it. Something's wrong with that thing.
Probably, but
That-
I've run a lot of skid steers.
That hydraulic pump does not sound right.
You turn it all the way up. You have to wear headphones
Yeah.
to actually listen to anything. Like if you want to hear the radio, good luck.
I don't know. I don't have a lot of time in the D3s, but I've run a bunch of 259s and none of them have ever sounded like that.
Wow.
But somebody did flip it over.
Yeah.
So
And I do get why a skid steer would be noisy because you're sitting basically
on top of everything.
on top of the engine.
That thing should not be that loud though. For how new it is, like you get used to it.
Shouldn't be a lot of things.
Yeah. It shouldn't be a cow probably, but
No.
according to the internet.
I was going to run it this weekend, then I just didn't find anything to do with it.
The house I'm looking at has a detached garage.
Really?
So it might have a home soon. It might have a quarters to bed its head in.
Well, we'll be able to use it a bunch the week after Montana
We should have taken it to Montana.
training. You can drive to Bozeman if you want.
It's probably better than my flight options.
Be my guest. Yeah, we have to go to Tucson first.
What's that? I'll take it there too.
Cool. I've always wanted to take it.
That'd be cool.
I've always wanted
Park
to
it
take
in the
to
994
Tahoe.
bucket?
Yeah. You could do a hell of a photo shoot with that little machine with so many of those big brutes. They have the 794, 994, D11.
We'll do an aftermath of that one. We don't want to talk about that now, right?
Yeah.
We'll do.
Yeah, we're not going to Tahoe, everybody.
We're going to.
We're keeping that really quiet.
We're going to John Deere.
Yeah. I've actually been to the John Deere facility in Arizona.
A lot of people have been to the John Deere factory lately.
And apparently they just don't care if you take pictures or videos.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff I've seen, I'm like,
yeah, it's
dude,
crazy.
I could not get away with that in any factory.
John Deere, hit us up. I want to check that. I want to check that out.
Well, we're not influencers. We're not big time in the equipment world.
Oh, we're not?
Mm-mm.
I didn't know that.
Not according to the manufacturers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh. Never mind.
Yeah. They don't.
Leave me alone.
What are we? We are worthless. Our opinion does not matter. We can add no value to their businesses whatsoever, even though we are all of their biggest advertiser.
You know, a wise man once said, "It do be like that sometimes."
It do be like that. I self-proclaimed I am the biggest Caterpillar advertiser in the world, online, right now. Who else is bigger? Maybe Chris, Awesome Earth Movers. By views.
I wouldn't say he's an advertiser though.
Yeah. I know, but by giving them
By views, yeah.
Yeah, by just online brand awareness.
You're probably nicer to them than I am.
Yeah, well, I have to play the game, you know?
Yeah.
I have to, oh no, you guys never get anything wrong. Like someone asked why does the D7, why do you not like the D7E? I'm like, well, I need to pitter pat around this question.
Yeah. See, I like it as a dozer. I think it's a cool dozer. I would love to buy one.
I'm not a dozer operator. Yeah. I've just asked about 100 people that have run and owned them.
The problem is they're always in trash, which is the worst environment for a dozer.
Well, and then do they still make them? No. So if it was a great dozer, you'd think they'd probably still be making it.
But the ones that the guys are actually using in earth moving, they fucking love them. They're great.
Yeah. Because
there's a company
because it's electric drive. Yeah. But now everybody loves the XE.
Do you know what the best use for them that I've seen so far is? There's a company in North Carolina, D&J Logging. They have a it's a stump blade. So they got what are those stupid blades called?
KG blade?
The KG blade. They have a KG blade on a D7E, and it is the most stump rippinest mother lover in the world.
Dang.
That thing rips. They love that thing for stumps. It just plows right through them because it's got max torque.
Yeah.
And it's like
it does make sense.
It's a low drive, so it's probably not fun to run over a stump, but yeah, they said that thing rips.
Most of the time I see 8s running KG blades because you just need enough oomph.
So in South Carolina, they do the same thing so they have 8s with weight kits on the back and KG blades, and those guys will run second gear just because they're man-made tree farms.
Oh yeah. So you can just run along the row.
Yeah, so they'll run 2 dozers side by side. Yeah, second gear wide open. Just bloop 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 bloop.
Well, that's Josh McCahill. We're going to see him on Friday. Oh, I get a text from him on Friday or last week. He's like, "Hey, by the way, just randomly, there's a pretty good chance we're going to be running both of the 10s over some cars while you're here."
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
But that's basically what they do is they just kind of run a dozer damn near flat out with this little blade on the front and it just pushes the trees over all the way down the row. And then they grab them, they push them up into piles with the loader, and then they grab them with an excavator or feed it with the loader into typically a grinder.
The whole industry is fascinating to me. There's not many, and you had CJ on last week.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
I didn't realize how cool their shit was. I was looking at his Instagram yesterday. Yeah. They run some pretty nice gear.
Yeah, they run a tight ship. The thing is, like, they have to because there's only like 2 or 3 of them out there.
Yeah,
I think he's got the only horizontal processor in like half the state or the whole state or something.
That's what he said.
Some crazy statistic. I was like, oh wow.
Once you get into
California though,
you get into that specialty equipment, and then you basically the growth is almost endless. Or specialty work, like Anvil Builders has done a great job of this. Yeah. Getting into the hazard tree work.
Yeah,
they get into the firework. And then they get into hazard tree work. And now they essentially become like one of the go-to hazard tree contractors for the state.
But then like you come to like the Southeast and like everybody and their brother has a horizontal grinder and a Rotoback processor head.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so different how like the industries are across the country.
Yes. There's not a ton of clearing work in California though.
Well, you can clear fire trees, I guess.
Now there's going to be a lot of there's a lot of
there's not a lot of clearing work, but they made it that way. Like there should still be forest,
exactly,
like upkeep, and
there's just not a lot of forest management. I saw PG&E. What they're doing a lot of right now is they're putting a lot of their power lines underground.
That is the new trend. Yeah.
Well, not by their choice, but they're just like, okay, so we either go spend a bunch of money putting our power lines underground or we keep burning the state down. So
that's why they're doing it.
So they prevent starting fires.
And where was I?
They have D8s with these D8 cable tractors running these power lines over the roof and burying them.
What?
As they drive along. They're sweet.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I only know that because the CEO of PG&E, she went to the job site the other day and I saw it on LinkedIn.
Oh.
And okay, great, you're smiling to some people. Cool, yeah.
Show us the dozers.
PR, but the dozers were right behind them. Like, whoa, look at those things.
Yeah.
And they were rental. They were It's not Echo. It might be Echo Equipment.
Never heard of them.
It's one of the big rental companies out there.
One of the power equipment rental dealers.
No, I don't. There's a bunch of rental companies that are really just in California.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Like TGI, Peed, but Peed goes elsewhere.
Where was I that they have only underground power? Goodsman. Aspen.
That's
aesthetics, though.
That's aesthetics.
That's different.
Yeah, that's not really practical reasons. I mean, it's practical because it can't get damaged in a storm.
And it really looks so much better.
It looks honestly a lot cleaner.
Like, that's why I kind of hate the South for that reason, because like it's such an eyesore.
Well, growing up in
they'll just
Arizona,
go and stick them anywhere.
Yeah, but dude,
so
like,
poorly,
especially in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Pennsylvania,
God.
like South Carolina, like Gallatin Pike.
Yeah, they don't care.
They'll go and stick them anywhere.
But Arizona, most everything's underground, so I didn't even recognize that above ground power was a thing. I
cannot even imagine the logistical nightmare of trying to bury underground power in some of these places now. Oh my God. We haven't even updated our sewers. How are we going to go and do that?
I watched in my neighborhood before I moved, they were putting underground fiber everywhere. And just watching those guys do that.
We got fiber figured out, but man, barely.
Yeah, fiber, because you can just go in there with a little saw that's maybe an inch wide. You throw it in there, you fill it back up, you're good to go.
Yeah.
With grout or whatever they put back in there.
Yeah.
A
lot of them are required to bury them in cement now.
It might be like a cement.
For idiots like us that go and dig through the yard.
A sand cement mix.
Yeah.
Is what it looks like they put in there.
Yeah. And a lot of them have to like dye the concrete too, so you know what it is when you hit it.
Yeah, because you don't want to be hitting the neighborhood fiber line, because repairing a fiber line is a little bit of a chore.
When I worked at Google, the existing fiber, like, they had a guy hit a fiber. There's like enough fiber optic cable at the one Google data center to go to the moon like 37 times or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is a fun fact, but also I don't know what that means.
Yeah, like
I like facts
no
like that.
Context
like, wow, that's a lot. But I have no idea how far the moon is away.
Yeah. And the guy, I guess like it was like 2 months before I started there, and the guy had a PC360, dug right through a fiber optic, and the guy's like, "Well, what am I gonna do?" And the Google guy comes over, he's like, "Damn, dude, that sucks. You just knocked out internet for Switzerland or like Iceland or something."
Yeah.
He's like, "That's gonna be $1 million an hour for you." Like, and the guy's like, "Well," he just like got in his car and drove away.
Yeah, you just go, man.
Yeah. So they like had to, and it sucks because you can't just like patch it.
No,
you got to do the whole thing.
Fiber,
and it was like 1,000 yards of cable they had to go find and pull out. And
well, because fiber, it's all the little
cost them millions of dollars.
It's all the little strands.
Yeah.
So you can't just reconnect all of those.
Yeah.
Or at least I'm not super familiar.
I've seen them do it.
You can do it,
but the guy spends like weeks doing it.
Yeah.
Because those fiber optics, like the big cables, they're like this. They're like,
and how many little
8 inches or
fiber
10
lines?
inches? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, going back to New York, we saw them exposing some of the main power cables for Manhattan.
That was so sketchy.
Talk about high dollar utility work.
That was wild.
They couldn't.
That was the first time I've seen an air knife actually in use. Those things are, honestly, the air knife to me was scarier than what they were doing themselves. Yeah. Air knives will mess you up so bad.
Yeah, and those guys, so the two guys, they couldn't dig these lines up because they
kind of were, but
they were digging around them, but they weren't.
They were digging way closer than I expected them to be able to.
That is true.
He was a good 6 inches from the.
But they're
what are
oil cooled
lines. What they hydrostatic?
I don't know. I don't know what the yeah, but it was
like the main power lines for Manhattan. Though.
They're such enormous power lines that they
look
have
like water lines.
They have to be cooled in oil. Yeah, they look like water lines. Yeah. And that's their power cables suspended in oil within a casing. And they were coming through, since it's so rare that these are even exposed, that they were coming through and wrapping all the lines again in carbon fiber.
Did he tell you, were you listening for like how hot they get? They're 75 degrees all year round.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, but they were exposing them with an air knife. So I've done a lot of like hydrovac work, Now, hydrovac, like a pressurized water wand.
Yeah.
Like, that'll cut your hand off.
Yeah.
Or it'll hurt really bad.
Yeah.
Or it'll scar you up.
Yeah, it'll mess you up.
An air knife is different because it won't, like, if I, let's say I'm wanding near my feet and I get hit with water. Okay, well, I got some superficial damage. I got some cuts, some lesions. If I hit it with an air knife, I'm going to get sort of the same deal. Like, it's going to cut my skin up a little bit. The problem is it gets air in your bloodstream and you die like a day later.
Oh, that's good.
So air knives,
like the bends,
scare the shit out of me.
Well, and not only that, but you're sitting there and they were air knifing sand. So basically all it is just pressurized air.
They're like reverse sandblasting.
They're just shooting air.
Yeah.
But they're just getting sandblasted all day. So they were in full head to toe suits because you're just getting sand shot at you at high speeds as you're blowing the sand off of the power cables to expose everything.
It was just so funny to me because, like, when I heard that they were exposing that, so it was like probably 12 lines over the course, over a width of probably 40, 50 feet wide trench. So if we were on like an Amazon job or a Google job or like a Microsoft job and it was like a data center, they would have had to hydrovac or airvac that whole thing. And I walk up, I'm like, this guy's digging right next to this thing with a 335.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And it was a big section too because they had to build basically this whole
and you can
tent
do
around
that.
it.
You can, they had to cover it up for. Why did they have to cover it up?
So the carbon fiber could cure properly.
Oh, because the sun can't hit it?
I guess it's weather that they didn't want on it while they were doing the carbon fiber resin process. Or I don't know. I'm just an idiot. But it's such a rare event that they even get close to these power lines. It wasn't even part of the project. Yeah. They just were working in the area. So they made it part of the project to expose all these power lines to then wrap them.
Yeah.
Which is, and I until I got there, I've seen those power lines before a few miles further up the road with the other part of the project I went to.
Oh,
last year. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But that was sketchier. This one was like, it was pretty dialed in.
They all looked like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. The other one, he was like, yeah, those are like the main power lines for the whole city right there.
I'm
not. Like, what? Huh?
I would not want to put a tooth through that thing with a 335 though. Bad day.
No.
Bad day.
Yeah.
That's like you can do that. That's how people have done it for like decades. But just very recently have we gotten to the point where people are realizing how expensive it is to not to hit utilities.
Yeah. That's
the whole reason behind it. Like a lot of the jobs that I've been on the last couple of years, it's like I can't dig mechanically within 15 feet of this line. Or 20 feet or 25 feet.
Handwork.
It's a lot of handwork and it's a lot of vac. That's why everybody's buying a vac truck now.
Yeah. It's becoming way more common.
Like I saw 2 new vac trucks from companies this week and I was like, wow.
And companies that you wouldn't expect to, and a lot of companies are just buying their own vac trucks now.
Yeah.
So it used to be you'd call a vac truck company.
Charge $450 an hour for one.
Yeah, but now a lot of these civil companies, like Basilico, they have a vac truck.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, they have vac trucks.
They have, yeah.
But it was Jared Van Agro that was like, oh, yeah, we bought this vac truck.
Yeah, it's like sitting in the shed, like brand new.
Yeah.
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 Blair bought one.
Everybody has one.
Yeah.
You don't have a vac truck. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's a podcast. I think we could wrap this one up.
We did the talking thing.
We did the talky thing. So everybody, thanks for tuning in to this Monday episode of Dirt Talk. If you have things for us to talk about, send it to dirttalkabilly.com. If you want to hear and see more about our travels to New York, all of the vlogs will be on our YouTube channel. So search my name, Aaron Witt, to find it. And we'll see you on the next one. Stay dirty, everybody.